Hello and welcome to today in the news on Vanguard Live. I am Precious Chukudi. We begin with the front pages of the papers this morning, starting off with Vanguard. Vanguard is leading with NNPCL Dangote. Fresh dispute emerges over supply volume. The writer says NNPC hints of undersupply from Dangote. We have delivered 111 million litres, and that's coming from Dangote. Excess supply loans as NNPC imports 135 million litres. Why oil marketers cannot import lift from Dangote, and that's coming from NNPCL. A federal government should provide welfare packages, and that's coming from CPPE. Fraud, foreigners are giving Nigeria bad name. Federal government insists. Flood, Lagdo Dam begins release of water. NISA warns. Stories about fuel subsidy removal. Others can pose risk to external reserve, and that's coming from CBN. Abdulsalami to federal government, situation is bad. Listen to Nigerians' cries. Insecurity, you can end banditry now. TY Danjuma task service chiefs. Edo Guba, PDP, APC, Labour Party in last minute rush for votes. And lastly, on the front pages of Vanguard on sport, we have AFCON 2025. Libya fires coach ahead Super Eagle clash. We take a look at the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian is leading with World Patient Safety Day. Nigeria battles spike in medical errors, negligence in hospital. Rider says after 8 chemo sessions, 25 rounds of radiotherapy, single mastectomy, a cancer diagnosis turned out an error, and that's coming from patients. Diagnostic errors are responsible for 16% of patients' harm. Practitioners blame lack of standard infrastructure for quality care. We are a dumping ground for quackery, fake, substandard, unvalidated kits and devices, and that's come from AMLSN president. Panic in Abuja over vibrations from multiple earth tremors. Lagos State government seeks accountability, says a misdiagnosis costs the patient 40% more. FRSC acts the illegality of being accuser, prosecutor, and judge, and that's news analysis. Minister warns of 300 million youth unemployment in Africa. Scientists confirm new fast-spreading COVID variants. Nigeria on flood alert as Cameroon's Lagdo Dam release water. Clark Lords Dangote urges support for local refining. Court rejects the Lagos AG's move to stop a 1.35 billion naira fraud case. Federal government to unbundle 115 government colleges. INEC taxed on credibility as 379,245 PVCs uncollected in Edo. We'll take a look at the Nation newspaper. The Nation is leading with end banditry killings now. Danjuma tells the service chiefs. Ribadu arms control law operational. Why insecurity persists by Interior Minister. Cameroon begins release of water from Lagdo Dam. CBN to maintain 5% loan cap to government. Stories above Edo 2024, 2.2 million voters to elect Obaseki's successor. Tinubu signed peace accord. Presidency counters Kuka. 99 illegal refineries found. 35 oil thieves held in 1 week. JAM unveils plan to boost education access to PLWDs. Dangote can't sell petrol below cost price, says Riwani. We take a look at the Punch newspaper. The Punch is leading with governorship poll. 35,000 corps arrive Edo as joint forces begins patrol. Military, NSCDC, EFCC personnel backs up police team. INEC tracks ballot boxes movement. Police parade 2,740 suspected kidnappers. Others with 4,087 ammunition rounds. PDP shift neck meeting over state congress crisis. 3 Oyo students remanded for allegedly causing colleagues' death. Federal government alerts 11 states as Cameroon plans Lagdo Dam release. Stories above 20 governors borrow fresh 446 billion naira as revenues tumble. 3 marketers to import 141 million litres petrol. How federal government earned $1.29 billion from telecom licenses. That's come from Obasanjo. And lastly, on the front page of the Punch newspaper, executive order, Tinubu eyes $2.5 billion investment. And that's all we can take on the front pages of the papers. Join us after the break. All right, welcome back. You're just joining still today in the news on Vanguard Live. I am Precious Chukudi. And joining me to talk about some of the stories on the front pages of the papers this morning is Mr. Gbeyin Oladribe, Executive Director of Emergency and Risk Alert. It's good to have you join me this morning, sir.
It's a pleasure being with you. Thank you.
All right, let's delve into what we have. And of course, we're still talking about the brouhaha between NNPCL and Dangote. And of course, more controversy has emerged in the execution of a sale purchase deal on petrol between the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC, and Dangote Refinery, as findings by Vanguard indicated that NNPCL believes Dangote does not have the capacity to supply adequate quantity of the products. What are your thoughts?
In Nigeria, operation has been in opaque, and it has been riddled with mind-blogging corruption, unaccountable revenue from this NNPC and everything. What Dangote Refinery has unveiled is to let the public know the quantum, the depth of corruption that has been going on in the oil sector and being perpetrated by NNPC and its cruel officials that have held Nigeria by the jugular, frustrating the potential for Nigeria's economic development, sending people out of jobs because of cost of production, and as a matter of fact, making Nigerians unable to develop, unable to actualize its potential. I think it's unacceptable. Corruption starts in the oil sector where you don't even know how much you are generating from your production, the quantum of oil being produced, the money being earned. And NNP has not been coming in respect of this. Look at what happened just on Sunday. There is a dispute already in respect of the volume of fuel lifted from the new Dangote refinery. Just one operation, and you have many troubles. And from the same NNPC, for God's sake, this is a criminal enterprise, and its decision to end Nigeria will not come to pass. Because I can't believe that this is happening. You lifted oil, and there is a dispute there. The NNPC is not even ashamed of going to Dangote refinery to lift oil after it has crippled Nigerian four refineries, has spent billion and trillion of naira and dollars on it, on the so-called resuscitation of the refinery without any result over a years. And Tinubu administration is still retaining the same Mele Kyari, who has been part of this rot. It's unacceptable.
All right.
In any event, I cannot exonerate the Minister of Petroleum, which is the president, from this whole mess that is going on between Dangote and NNPC. Why Nigerians are left to suffer of high cost of transportation, inability to even access fuel, and of course to suffer the consequential hike in price of petroleum, hike in price of transportation, hike in price of basic necessity and needs, including food items.
All right,
is sad.
Yeah.
It is a very dark day for Nigeria that an oil-producing country, oil-exporting country is going through this mess, is going through this horror, and is going through these situations that has potential to cripple individual economy and destroy the economy of Nigeria.
All right, sir. A lot of back and forth, as to why all marketers cannot, lift petrol from Dangote. Some people have said the NNPC of taking is only because the others would not buy at the price Dangote will be willing to sell, which they term
It's not true.
is
It's not true. Dangote price will have been lower if they allow him to sell. You can't be operating in conjunction, in a situation where you can actually allow their so-called free market to operate. Now we are producing, they are still teleguiding the producer how much is going to sell and everything. It will have come down if Dangote releases fuel. They are just jokers. They are jokers. What they want to cover the nature of criminalities that is going on within the oil sector. And it's not true. There will be no landing cost. There will be no hidden cost. There will be no consignment cost. There will be no international insurance cost from Dangote on Dangote's oil. All those one are bad as they are saying. What is actually happening is that if Dangote should come up with a very low price and the gap between the imported and the one in Nigeria is much, then they will not be able to make the type of money they have been using our crude oil and imported fuel to make. The criminal money they have been making, it will be unveiled. That is why they are afraid. It's not true. Why should NNPC be the only one that is off-taking from Dangote? What of independent marketers? They are all a network of cabal trying to put burden on the people of Nigeria.
All right, let's move ahead and talk about this. Now, of course, the Nigerian Hydrological Service Agency, NISA, has alerted the Nigerians as Lagdo Dam in Cameroon begins release of water. And my question is, what are your thoughts and why do you think we are never ready for ecological crisis? Take a look at what happened in Maiduguri.
It's not only ecological crisis we are not ready for. We are not ready for anything. Those in power, they are not ready for governance. Why should we be waiting for announcement of opening of Lagdo Dam since 2012? And this has been happening perennially. And we don't take informed decision. We don't build dam. We don't reconstruct dam. We don't re-energize the one here. We don't widen the dam that we have to accommodate more volume of water and be less concerned whether Lagdo Dam releases water or whether Cameroon releases water from Lagdo Dam or not. Why should our safety, our security depend on a contiguous state? Does that make sense for a country that is serious? We don't have plan. We don't have preparedness plan. That's what I've said. Where is the policy for emergency management in Nigeria that is in tandem with the new reality of climate change? That is in tandem with the commitment of Nigeria to their so-called attendant at climate change meetings, where they have been junketing and wasting our money without technical contribution or reflection on how flood emergencies should be managed or curtailed or disaster risk reduction happen so that we prevent any emergency or disaster that may be consequential to release of water from Lagdo Dam or any dam for that matter. Look at the disaster that happened in Maiduguri. Is it Lagdo Dam that released water? This is internal foolishness that we have been surrendered and submitted to. That's what caused a lot of people, hundreds of people, their lives, millions of people displaced, and we continue to lament all the time with government that knows nothing about emergency and how to reduce risk to the extent of putting people out of harm's way. I've said this personally, I've said this professionally in the last 20 years, and what should be done, nothing has been done. As a matter of fact, there is a policy position that emergency and risk put in place in 2022, and it's tagged the next emergency. We use this to engage even the so-called committee that President Buhari set up, committee of people that know nothing about what they are supposed to do, and yet no action has been taken. We will continue to lament because we have a people who does not understand that responding to emergency is not about relief administration, which has its own political economy, but rather about reducing the risk of such disaster happening. So those are issues. We have a country, as we talk now, there is no updated preparedness plan on how to respond to emergency. There is no history or documentation or actual assistance of those that have capacity to respond to emergency, to coordinate emergency when it happens, and even to identify the potential of occurrence of any disaster anywhere in Nigeria, irrespective of the fact whether it is flood, whether it's fire, whether it's drought, or whatever form of disaster.
All right, so let's move ahead and talk about the elections in Edo State. And of course, it's 3 days to Saturday's governorship election. And the leading parties, APC, PDP, and Labour Party, are locked in a frenzy rush to woo voters. What are your expectations?
Well, I just wish Edo people well. I wish Nigeria well. I wish anyone that will involve that nobody will be killed because of this election. More importantly, people should, I don't even know whether to ask people to go and vote or not, because there's nothing we get from what the vote of the past. The corruption continue. Those elected, they live for themselves and not for the people. That's what we have been seeing across the states of the country, even at the central level. So I can't see the difference democracy has made in the life of people, including Edo people. There's no difference and everything. So I don't kill myself for even the so-called democracy in Nigeria again, except we are true to ourselves, and we have now decided to operate in democracy. Because democracy is not about hunger, it's not about throwing people into agony and disaster and nobody take responsibility for it. In democracy, government will be concerned that its citizens are in forests and beaches under kidnappers, and in kidnappers then, they will be ashamed that roads are not good from Aushi, from Okene to Aushi to Bini, that the road have been unpassable in the last 10 years. People will be ashamed that the cost of living has exorbitantly risen to the extent that ordinary Nigerian cannot afford even to eat a meal a day. Democracy is development. Is development in terms of people enjoying their rights, people having a secure environment, that their life are defended, that their countries are defended and they are protected and removed from harm's way. Those are things that characterize democracy. Not this autocratic way where cruel ruler begin to ask people to make sacrifice, and the sacrifice they don't make themselves. So that is not democracy. So I don't know what election in Edo State we translate to. But then it's an opportunity for the people of Edo to show that they have suffered enough and to reject any party that have put them in trouble or in agony.
All right, so let's move ahead. Now, the federal government has said that it is concerned that a majority of the people giving the country a bad name is people in diaspora, and they are foreigners carrying Nigerian identity. What are your thoughts?
I love in Swahili. Is that anything? What of the problem at home? What have they done about it? Look, the way you are viewed outside starts from your home. In fact, there's what you call citizen diplomacy. Have they not turned almost every Nigerians at home to criminal through their useless policies? And they are blaming those outside. It is what they learn inside the house that they take home. It's like a child that is not properly brought up at home. And people are surprised that it's a criminal outside. There's no need for government to defend indefensible. Nothing is hidden in today's world. Technology has revealed everything about every nation. The character of the people, the behavioral pattern of a people, how their government even treats them. You have a country where some people who are heading somebody like Desiani, heading and abetting his criminal activities, becoming governor in Nigeria today. You have a situation where those who are holding Abacha's money in trust for Abacha became minister in Nigeria today. And you are talking of whether Nigeria is a criminal or not. I think those are the things we should begin to reflect on and get things right from home. The way Nigeria behave at home, the way the government treat Nigeria at home, is that not criminal? You have a country where people will go and protest and you charge them for treason. Is that not lie? So how do you want those people to behave when even government is not behaving better like the citizen? It's just like government like citizen. So I don't know if any Nigerian, my concern is that if any Nigerians have breached any law outside Nigeria, they should be admitted to the standard of rule of law. They should not be unduly punished because they are Nigerians. They should be punished because they are criminal, and they should be set free because they are innocent. That is my take about what happens to any Nigerian outside the country or even within the country.
All right.
This is a country where you will commit one crime and they charge you for another thing because it is in the interest of those who are holding you.
Former military head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, has said that the present hardship in the country is confronting the people, it's getting out of hand, and that the federal government should remedy the situation immediately. What's your take?
Has it not gotten out of hand? It's not that it's getting out of hand. It has gotten out of hand. Those that ordinarily should not become criminal have become, because they can't just exist again. It is difficult, absolutely difficult for Nigeria to exist as a citizen, as a people that will be law-abiding, especially when they see their government living in opulence, in extraordinary Epicurean lifestyle that is being supported by the fraudulent money they acquire or getting from the system, and asking people to make sacrifice that they are not making, impoverishing people, making life unbearable. It's unacceptable. It's not ordinary Abdulsalam Abubakar. Any right-thinking human being, we know that Nigerians have been decimated. Schools are resuming with increase in school fees, and nothing is happening to parents. Their parents are getting out of job because of cost of production. They are retrenching Nigeria, young and old. Even government establishment, central bank is retrenching. Other parastatals are retrenching Nigerians. And what are we talking here? Even the Dangote refinery that is trying to put a breath of fresh air is being sabotaged. So those are the issues.
All right, so let's take a look at Mr. and Mrs. before we go. And Mr. is speaking. He says, "I'm sorry, dear, I forgot about our wedding anniversary." And Mrs. says, "You are forgiven, honey. At least you didn't forget to give me my monthly allowance." All right, thank you so much, Mr. Agbinro Ladrigbe, Executive Director of Emergency and Risk. Thank you for sharing your thought with us.
Thank you.
Also, remember that you can equally like, share, and subscribe on all our social media platforms showing on your screen. To find out today's stories, go to our website, www.vanguardindia.com, to find out more. I am Precious Chukudi, and thank you for watching.